Hola, this is Reverend Justo. As you probably know by now, I'm the new area conference minister for the Southwest area, covering the Southwest Association and the Grand West Association here in Michigan. In October of 2016, my spouse James and I flew home after 15 days of a cruise with our families. When I got back, several of my colleagues were looking for me, had a bunch of emails, phone calls, and I became aware of the fact that the unbelievable had occurred in Buffalo, New York, where I was pastoring. ICE had raided 3 Mexican restaurants and taken in 25 undocumented immigrants who were cooking the best foods and making the sabores, or the flavors of our lives, that we truly enjoy. And as I heard these stories, it really felt kind of ridiculous because it's Buffalo, New York. Most of our immigrants are Canadian tourists that come over. So thinking, did we deport the Canadians? They support our economy. And yet I learned and discovered, as I met these 25 individuals, one particular one that moved my soul. Ida was arrested and detained, and her 2 American babies, a 3-year-old girl and a 5-year-old girl, were separated from their mother. She spent days without knowing and anyone telling her in a federal detention center who had her daughters, where were her babies, were they safe, did they know where their mother was? Now you have to understand this from an immigrant's perspective. First and foremost, Ida had already been deported, so she is now subject to a felony, an immediate deportation from the United States. When ICE and federal agents refuse to give mothers information about their babies and refuse to let babies know about their mothers, I get angry. And I think that there's a time and a place for the church to get angry. We cannot always be the happy-go-lucky people that are celebrating this or that. Sometimes our faith demands that we become angry and that we channel our anger for good. You see, Ida's story motivated my previous community, Pilgrim St. Luke's y El Nuevo Camino United Church of Christ. It motivated us not only to celebrate God's love and grace and mercy, and in my congregation, communion every week, but it also motivated us to step up, stand up, dare to speak truth to justice, truth to power, and truth to systems that were oppressing and treating immigrants as less than humans. So where are you in your life? Are you able to touch your anger in ways that don't kill you and destroy you and get you stuck and get you to become bitter and angry? Trust me, I know a lot of mean, old, bitter men and women, and they're only 25 or 30. Nonetheless, the 50-year-olds. That is easy. The hard task of faith is daring to stand up for what we believe, daring to take our faith beyond Sunday mornings, beyond 10 o'clock or the hour and 15 minutes that we're together. See, I believe that the church is called to praise God on Sunday, but also to get our hands dirty Monday through Saturday, to dare to go on out, to engage the community, to recognize the pain, the hurt, the struggles, the difficulties of others, to engage them in their lived realities. So many of us get stuck and we don't know why people aren't walking into our churches and not finding us. That's an old paradigm. I believe that the gospel calls us to dare to move beyond our four walls, to engage others in their lived realities, to bring good news to them by listening to their stories of pain and suffering, joy, of thanksgiving, of celebration. So yes, on that Saturday, I was in Mexico and in Colombia, and I flew back to Orlando. And on that Saturday, I was joyful. On Sunday, I got angry. And anger led to the start of a sanctuary church, to my church proclaiming that everyone was welcome and daring to open up its door. It led to us publicly speaking and proclaiming to the authorities that this is what we're going to do, that we're not going to allow you to tell us how to treat people, but we're going to open our doors. We're going to celebrate their lives. We're going to create a safe and sacred and holy place. It led us to developing PopUp restaurants run by immigrants, and all of the money being used to help pay for their legal defense, for their rent, for their shelter, for food. You see, the gospel invites us, demands of us, that we not only speak of God's love, but that we dare to live it. And that's scary at times, I acknowledge that. But I believe that holy and sacred boldness is what we are called to, that you are called to. So fast forward to Ida. We were able to get her out of detention. We were able to partner with community members to teach her ESL, to get her an attorney, to provide her with rent and food subsidies, to unite this family again. Sometimes our anger, when channeled through God's grace, breaks down lots of barriers, transforms walls, and leads us to places that we couldn't even imagine that we would be going. Where is your anger leading you? Where is God calling you to change the world, to transform situations, and to be bold? I hope wherever it is, that you dare to unloosen God's love and God's power, to create what God intends, and to meet people in their lived realities, rather than saying simply, that's a shame and we shouldn't do that. Celebrate on Sunday, my brothers and sisters. But remember, dare to get your hands dirty on Monday through Saturday too. Blessings.